Alright, so we need to talk about the upcoming Snow White live-action remake and the fact that this movie is set to be released in theaters next week and to have a Rachel Zegler in the main lead, who is Snow White, and especially the divisiveness and all the controversy, all the backlash that this movie is getting. It seems that we might be in for another terrible live action remake from Disney as well. So I'm going to be breaking down a whole timeline of events, especially with the recent news that we've gotten, Zegler's comments on the character, and there's much more to break down for what we can expect from this movie. And so if you're new, then be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so miss on any future vids. But now, let's hop right into it. And now, in case you guys are not aware, that Disney has been making live-action remakes for almost 30 years, and that started with 101 Dalmatians, that was from 1996, and ever since then, they've been putting out so many live-action remakes, basically stuff that people don't want, where they're doing a beat-by-beat of the original because especially with Disney and their money-hungry ways. Even though they put out Alice in Wonderland, and even if you remember 2019, that was the year of Disney where each movie does over $1 billion. I'm talking about Aladdin, a Lion King live-action remake as well, and especially with the recent movie that was released in 2023, The Little Mermaid. But now, especially as we are now heading into the live-action remake of Snow White, because of the reason why this is being brought up, because it's especially not only does that movie mark the first animated movie from Disney, but it also marked the first Disney princess, who is Snow White. And even though ever since facing the backlash and all the controversy that this movie is getting, plus with Rachel Zegler that is now like the main lead of that movie. Even if you look throughout the trailer footage and what Disney is going to be adapting in this upcoming remake, it seems that for what their comments have been adapted, and this is heading up into a bad direction. And I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure, but I think it already has because especially with box office projections, especially with the budget of this movie, I think it's reportedly around like 250 million, and so this is how Disney is making their stuff nowadays, making like production budgets more expensive and adapting that in certain movies. But and just, I don't think the movie looks that bad, because especially, I've been liking the live action remake of Snow White ever since the first couple trailers. I think I've heard like new original songs adapted. But I'm just excited to hear Rachel Zegler's voice, because she has the voice of an angel, because especially her work, especially from her movie debut and West Side Story, Hunger Games, Ballad, Songbirds and Snakes, Lucy Gray, and that's with their upcoming performance in that movie. And even people that are still boycotting this movie, or still giving us a total controversy and all the backlash that Rachel Zegler is getting, but and honestly, she doesn't deserve all the hate that she is getting. But I'm excited to see her from. I'm hoping that she could pull off this character of Snow White good. The comments that Zegler and Godot have been giving is that they're going to be adapting the story not when Snow White gets saved by the prince, but something that involves the evil queen. And from what we see from all the trailers and on the marketing, that's the story that they're going to be adapting into this movie. And to me, I think that just gives a sign of red flags. People are not going to go out and watch or even support this movie. But as to me, I might support it, because I like Rachel Zegler, and she's done this so good in her movie career. But to even adapt like the first Disney princess, and it's especially from all the behind the scenes updates, and so especially for when Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot got casted in this movie back years ago. But even with this movie that has been in a release date delays, and if you know what I mean, everything that we're seeing here in terms of how the movie looks, and the fact that Mark Webb directed this movie, and because if you know him, he did The Amazing Spider-Man, but with the live-action remake approach that Disney is getting here, and I'm kind of thinking this is another mistake from Disney, because if you look at their other live action remakes, they've done so good. They did over $1 billion, But I'm thinking that with this movie, I'm pretty sure if it's gonna change all that, because especially with its opening projections, it's looking to have like a somewhere 30 to 40 million box office opening. Even tickets that went on sale like a week before the movie comes out, and I'm pretty sure that's just like a sign to so many red flags that Disney has no confidence in this movie whatsoever. And plus, I grew up loving the Snow White animated movie. That movie is my childhood. But the fact that they're turning this into live action and probably adapting a different plot or like a different story, it's just gonna turn fans into now wanting to go see this movie and probably to even riot behind this movie, because especially as this is not getting like so much hype or anticipation. Like, I mean, they've been keeping this movie on like the very down low, because they don't want us to see how bad this movie actually is. But if this does turn out to be true, and I think Disney is heading for not such a good future in terms of live action remakes and other movies that they're going to be adapting into live action, especially if you look at all of Disney's animated movies from the past and what they're going to be adapting into live action. And I think the Snow White movie might be in trouble, and it's going to cause a big financial risk, especially for the studio. I have faith in Disney for what they're putting out, and in terms of no matter how you look at it, because they're always going to be putting out a lot live action remakes, because again, it is a business at the end of the day, and the businesses need to make business decisions that are going to make them money. But in terms of live action remakes for Disney, and especially when people that get tired of the animated movies that get turned into a live action remake without any soul or purpose, or if they adapt a good story into it but add something new to it. I mean, even though as I keep on looking at it so much, and maybe it could not be as bad. I mean, I'm excited to see Rachel Zegler crush this movie, but in terms of, I mean, I am not that over the moon hyped excited, because I remember seeing like the first bit of footage, especially when it was first released, and everyone was so excited for it. But in terms of, I think with the comments that were made, especially by Rachel Zegler back in 2022, and she gave some bad comments about the character and about what the character stands for, and she gave this a weird, quirky looks, and I just gotta point out two red flags that people just like don't want to go out and support this movie, which, I mean, I'm totally fine with that. I mean, your opinions are your own way of thinking about a certain movie, but in terms of where this is heading, and especially in terms of opening box office weekend or where this is going, I think we're in for a good treat and a good ride for this movie. And I think it's definitely going to be approachable, especially for younger audiences and little kids that love Snow White. But I think people are going to go out and see this movie no matter what, in terms of, if you want to go out and see the movie, fine. If you don't want to see it, don't. But, I mean, I will be looking forward to this movie and obviously reviewing it, of course. But, and also with my final thoughts to wrap up this video, is that I think, I mean, Snow White is in a pretty good spot, but not in like a pretty big spot where it's going to open up big. I just want to see if this movie turns out to be any good, if Disney's going to market this way, especially as if they are marketing this movie now in terms of like yesterday Monday that tickets went on sale. That's like red flags that this movie might fail. But yeah, we'll see what the outcome is, and we'll see if this movie turns out to be any good, or if it's another live action remake that nobody asked for, especially with a lead actress that gave horrible comments about the character as well. But yeah, that's all I got for you. But that's gonna do it for this video. Just let me know in the comments below, and what your thoughts on this, especially if you think that this is another mistake from Disney, and if you think that the Snow White movie is doomed to fail in terms of box office projections, all the trailers and the marketing. Just let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the notifications about video videos, and also follow all my social medias, all linked down below. And with that, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.